Hey yo, it is Carso, and I am back on Stuck in the Dream. Hopefully this is on YouTube, depends on how I'm feeling. I gotta work tomorrow, I gotta wake up at 4:45, so that should be interesting. Today, I have a wide range of topics. You can tell I had the Dodger blue up, so we're going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers. We're going to talk about the Cowboys. I guess I'm not a Cowboys fan, but it's blue. We're going to talk about the Sacramento Kings, my favorite basketball team. Talk about LeBron James because the All-Star game was last night, and we will also talk about the Green Bay Packers, my favorite football team, and what they are going to do with their franchise tag, what I think they should do. First off, I'm going to start off. I had a request by one of my friend's dad to talk about my favorite team, the Dodgers, who I have been a fan of since the earth was created. Well, the Dodgers won their championship last year. A much deserved one after getting robbed by the Astros a couple years ago. And we all know what the Astros did. So it hurts my heart to talk about the Astros and Dodgers series, especially knowing Kershaw wouldn't be known as a choker if it wasn't for Jose Altuve and all their guys cheating. So we're going to talk about it. The Dodgers made one of the biggest signings of the year. They signed Trevor Bauer, who was a previous Cy Young Award winner. He pitched pretty good last year. He comes to the Dodgers. You know, everybody wants to go to LA. No one wants to go to New York Mets. Come on. If you're going to go to New York, you're going to the Yankees. So Trevor Bauer picked the Los Angeles Dodgers, team up with Clayton Kershaw. And it's going to be a movie this year. There's going to be 18 plus games of World Series type baseball between the Dodgers and the Padres, and I am all ready for that. I'm going to San Diego State, so hopefully I can make it to a San Diego Padres Dodgers game because those are going to be some great games. Kershaw versus Matt Clevenger is going to be there. Fernando Tatis Jr. It's going to be a great season for NL West baseball. We're going to talk about it. Trevor Bauer struck out the dude with one eye. I can barely strike out someone with two eyes, let alone I can barely strike out my sister. So seeing Trevor Bauer go out there and absolutely dominate, they had a dominating game against who they played today. They played the White Sox, and the White Sox are pretty good this year. So seeing the Dodgers go out there, play really well against one of the best teams in the AL really gave me some hope. I love what Cody Bellinger is going to give you. Hopefully he can bring his performance back to that MVP season he had a few years ago. Mookie Betts, we know what he does. And honestly, seeing some of the guys leave, I know Jock Peterson's been having an amazing spring training this year. Seeing him flourish in Chicago is amazing. Kike left. Everybody wants to leave the Dodgers. But just know, they're not getting a ring this year. They're not on the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm ready for San Diego Padres versus Los Angeles Dodgers this year. It's going to be a great showing. Hopefully, our dude with the luscious red hair can play even better. I'm looking for Gavin Lux. Maybe he steps up this year. Justin Turner, it's his last year. I believe we all know it. And Justin Turner has given us great moments within the past 10 plus years, and I love seeing it because, hey, watching those Mark Ellis, Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp teams was the reason why I got really back into baseball. My family's been a huge baseball family. My mom played fantasy baseball for years, and going with my friend Jack Johnson and his family to Dodgers games are some of the best memories I have growing up. So if you guys want to hear some more stories about Los Angeles Dodgers, my favorite players, I can bring it up and it'll be a fun episode. Switching lanes a little bit, let's talk some football. Dak Prescott finally didn't sign a franchise tag. Instead, he signed a 4-year, $160 million deal. Now, the big debate was, is Dak Prescott really worth that money? Because we know he's a solid QB. He's one of the best QBs in the league. Obviously, last year he had an unfortunate injury, but he's that next level below the Patrick Mahomes, I say Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson. I think he was a step below that. And he was a 5th round draft pick, I believe. And he's outplayed everyone that was above him. Now, they did a redraft and they had Dak Prescott going number 1 above Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. I don't know if I would take him number 1. Remember, Jared Goff took his team a couple years ago to the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Obviously, they lost because Tom Brady is the GOAT. But seeing Dak Prescott finally get locked up to a long-term deal is good because a lot of the beliefs around why they hadn't signed him yet was press. And Jerry Jones, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he's all about PR, looking good, having the Cowboys in the news because obviously they're not in the news for winning. So they got to do something for it. And they finally locked him up after feels like 15 years of debating. Oh, here's a franchise tag. They didn't want to give him that franchise tag because it would have been a pricey tag over the year. Talking about my favorite team, the Green Bay Packers, they have a decision to make. Now, we all love Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know why you draft Jordan Love. That's a whole different story. But we all know that was a bad decision. They should have drafted a wide receiver, tight end, to help him on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, that defense wasn't that good. But, if you're outscoring people like the Chiefs did, obviously not this year because the Bucs absolutely dominated them. But with a few injuries, of course, I think I would probably give Aaron Jones the franchise tag for just this year, develop A.J. Dillon for another year, and see what that takes you. Because Aaron Jones is a really solid running back, not only in the running game, but he can also catch passes. And we haven't seen A.J. Dillon do that on the level that Aaron Jones has thus far in his career. I think in this year's draft, they need to go out there and get a skill position. And if you don't get one in the draft, you have to look at Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, this is my inside source saying he had a friend in LA. He was at the coffee shop, saw Juju. And what did he ask Juju? Are you staying with the Steelers? He said no. So what I'm thinking is Juju Smith-Schuster to the Green Bay Packers. And that would be a miracle because him and Devontae Adams, oh my, Alan Lazard, Richard Rodgers. Richard Rodgers. We're going to talk about Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan, Juju, Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard. They got that. What's that dude's name? He has a different name. But he was up and coming this year, up in this season. So I'm excited to see what the Packers do. Hopefully they can give Tom Brady a run for a Super Bowl because we all know Tom Brady is that dude. And maybe if it weren't for a Patrick Mahomes injury and offensive line injury, maybe Tom Brady wouldn't have that ring. But that's a whole different story. Switching lanes, I'm going to try to keep this under about 12 minutes. We're going to talk about LeBron James before I talk about the Sacramento Kings. LeBron James didn't play a single minute in the second half, in order to let Steph Curry, Giannis, and Damian Lillard go crazy. Oh, and don't forget, underappreciated Jaylen Brown. They all played amazing last night and destroyed Team Durant. Obviously, Durant's there. We're having a different story right now. But seeing LeBron give up those minutes, he also said he doesn't want to be all-star captain anymore. I believe he's 4-0 as a captain of his team. And GM LeBron is a real story right there. He also talked about the ongoing COVID pandemic, talked about whether or not he would be receiving it. Instead of saying, yes, I will receive it, mind you, this is one of the most famous men or women in the world, worldwide, in poverty communities, in the millionaires, billionaires, across the country, and the world. He is one of the most popular men alive. And I was stunned to see him say that he doesn't know if he'll announce that he's getting the COVID-19 shot, either Pfizer or Moderna or any of those people, any of those vaccines. I was kind of disappointed. I believe he should have said, yes, I'm getting it, and whether he gets it or not, it's totally up to him. But I don't know how to word this. He should have said he was taking it in order for some people that are on the fence but huge LeBron fans or listen up to athletes with lots of power. I believe he should have said, yes, I'm getting it, and if he gets it or not is behind closed doors. Instead, he said, I'll talk to my family about it. We are going to keep it private whether or not I get it, which is very interesting. But LeBron James has a lot of power in communities that listen to athletes who have been through the same thing as they are going through. And LeBron should have made I believe, a better decision. Switching lanes to the Sacramento Kings, not a single Sacramento Kings player was in an All-Star Weekend event. Obviously, Buddy Hield versus Steph Curry, 2021-2022 NBA All-Star Weekend with fans. Maybe I should be there. I mean, ESPN, I'm willing to go on your behalf. But Sacramento Kings need to make a decision. I referenced it almost a month and a half ago, talking about the Kings need to make a decision about Luke Walton, Marvin Bagley, all these players who we frankly don't need. I think we need to build behind Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton. Everybody else can be traded. Instead, Luke Walton is still the coach. And the reason I have a problem with Luke Walton as a coach is not because we're not winning, but it's the way he uses Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley is a 6'9 to 6'11 dude with unbelievable bounce and a knack for getting the rebounds. Now he's starting to take his jumper more than just 5 feet away from the rim. He's starting to knock down threes at a consistent rate. And instead of putting him in the pick and roll where he can pick and pop with De'Aaron or Tyrese, Luke Walton has him sitting in the corner? Are you serious? Why is he sitting in the corner? This dude came out of Duke as one of the most athletic, a great pick and roll player, and you're having him sit in the corner? Come on, Luke. Make a better offensive scheme for him. How is he supposed to look good in an offense that doesn't work for him? I truly believe they need to move on from Luke Walton, and maybe you let him ride out this year. Please don't trade Marvin Bagley. He still has a lot of potential, and he's played well when Rashawn Holmes is not playing. Now, yes, he needs to work on the defensive side of the ball, but that comes with putting on more pounds, learning defenses in the NBA, learning offenses in the NBA. It's all about that. You know, Buddy Hield, trade him to Boston. We'll take Aaron Nesmith in a first. Just throwing that out there. I said a few weeks ago, almost a month and a half ago, Hassan Whiteside to the Hornets and Lakers. And you look up the Sacramento Kings. Who are the first two teams referenced for Hassan Whiteside trades? I called it. If they come out and they trade for Hassan Whiteside, you bet I'm going on here and I'm saying, yeah, you better. The Sacramento Kings had looked at my article. Trade Emmanuel Bjelica for anything. Trade him for a first, maybe a second and a young piece. He hasn't played that well. He's not that great of a shooter this year. Harrison Barnes has been playing amazing. It's his time to go. Let us get a first rounder and a young piece. Let us build in this draft. And honestly, if all things go right, there is a potential, a change of the coach. Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese in the playoffs next year. I think that is a true possibility. Now, we can't leave De'Aaron out of the playoffs for too long or else he's going to be frustrated. But I do believe the Sacramento Kings are going to make moves that are trying to get better and not like when DeMarcus was here where you bring in Rondo and Marco Bellinelli. Well, what if DeMarcus doing Marco Bellinelli and Rajon Rondo? I think that's all I have for today. I'm excited to watch some Dodger baseball. They're going to be really good this year, just like they were last year. And I hope they get that COVID season stigma off of their trophy. And if they are able to get a ring this year, obviously you can't say anything about last year's ring. They beat a good Tampa Bay Rays team that probably shouldn't have pulled Blake Snell, but they did, and that is not Dave Roberts' fault. Dave Roberts finally got that stigma off of him that he can't coach in the playoffs. Don Mattingly, screw you, because before Dave Roberts was the atrocity that was Don Mattingly. Clayton Kershaw, I want him to get another one. And Walker Buehler, come on, that's one of the best pitchers in the league. Alongside Trevor Bauer, come on. It's a wrap this season. Dodgers in 5 against, I don't care who, if it's the Yankees, the Astros. I got the Dodgers against the field. It's been Stuck in a Dream, and I am out. Thank you for listening.